Coucou mes puces! So, today is all about cleaning brushes and making them nice and squeaky clean so that they're awesome, ready to go, and not causing any breakouts or what have you on your face. A few of you have requested this video quite a couple times, and I've been holding off on filming it for no other reason than I was hoping to be able to transport like all this filming stuff into the bathroom, because I've tried to film it a couple times without the proper lighting and the tripod, and I filmed it a couple times and it hasn't been the way I wanted in the bathroom. The sound was echoey, or the lighting was off, or whatever. I did a bunch of my like get ready and get unready routines in the bathroom. The thing with those was I could stand right in front of the window, so we got enough lighting. My sink is not right in front of the window. So anyways, long story short, I finally decided, you know what, I've got a great pair of lashes on, I'm feeling really awesome, high energy, we'll just do this as a sit down talky video, and if you guys still have questions after that, or it doesn't make a lot of sense, we could do like a follow-up video, but yeah, let's just talk about cleaning brushes. So, I clean my brushes a couple different ways, because I'm not saying I have 5 brushes, I have a decent amount of brushes. But for example, my MAC 217, which is this guy, is basically the only brush I use for packing on all over lid color and blending. I only have 2 of these, which means that sometimes even within one particular look, I run out of clean brushes. If I'm sort of using a darker color and I have this and then I'm using the clean one to blend, then I'm out. So I clean my brushes pretty regularly just because there aren't a lot of them, and so I need them to be clean so I can use them. What I did find though, because I used to clean them in 2 ways. I used to give them a deep clean once a week, and then I used to spot clean them every day with some like just liquid cleaner after every use. And even with that, I found that I was having problems. So I've now adopted a 3-pronged approach, so to speak, and I'm going to walk you through all 3. Why is it important to wash your brushes? Well, 2 reasons. 1, because if you leave product in them, or even if you just let them sort of sit and collect dust, all that kind of stuff can build up bacteria, so then when you're putting it back on your face, you're putting bacteria back on your face, you're gonna break out. So that's the first reason. The second reason is if your brush is dirty and then you're putting in a different color, it's just common sense, right? You're gonna get a muddy color on your eyes or on your face or whatever because your brushes aren't clean. So it's important to keep them clean. I'm gonna walk you through each step, what I do, what products I use, and how often I use each to clean. Okay. So the first and newest addition to my brush cleaning regimen is this color switch duo. Is it by a certain company? I think it's by Veramona. I got mine off a site called FTP Beauty. I'll link that down below. FTP Beauty, I've gotten a few things from them. Actually, a lot of what I'm going to talk about today is from them. They ship stuff that usually ships... Okay, hold on. I'm going to try to say this in a way that makes sense. Basically, things like Sigma, things like this company, Veramoda. Companies like Sigma, for example, will ship to Canada, but ship at a really high shipping rate and also take forever to get here. FTP Beauty buys a bunch of these products, NYX, Sigma. I'll link their website down below. You can go peruse it. But basically, they buy a bunch of stuff, put it in a warehouse, and then in somewhere, Toronto, Ontario, and then they'll ship out to Canada. It's free shipping after, I want to say, like $50, but you can get like express second day shipping for $12. They're phenomenal. I highly recommend them. They shipped really quickly and I got all my products. It was phenomenal. Anyways, I heard about this little product from Wayne Goss. I'll link his video demo on this down below. But I love this because this now allows me to wash like my 217s as I go, and then I don't need to have so many, and I can do like creative, colorful, fun looks as I'm working. So what this does, it's basically like a Brillo pad. As you can see, it's a little dirty. It probably needs to be cleaned. And they just suggest you sort of just use a soap bar and do it that way. But this part in the middle is supposed to be like if you want to use eyeshadows wet, you can dampen this, then you can do that. Going forward, I probably will buy the mono, which is just the straight Brillo pad. But basically what this does is it allows you to spot clean with, and then be able to use your brushes right away. So with a normal spot cleaning with something liquid, your brushes are then wet, and you can't, a brush that's wet with makeup remover, to put that back then and like keep blending your eyeshadow, you're just gonna wipe off all your eyeshadow. So this is now what I use to spot clean as I go through my makeup application, and at sort of various intervals throughout if I know I need to reach back for my brush. So basically, if you can see on the top of this white brush is some brown eyeshadow. So what you do is you just what that you'd understand, I'm making a noise instead of telling you what I'm doing, but you just rub it back and forth. You can be quite vigorous because you need to sort of get in there, and you see how it cleans it off. So if I kept rubbing, you basically, it is a white brush, so it's going to stain a little, but you have a brush that has no shadow left on it, and so that you can take it into a different color and blend it back out. So this is what I use throughout my makeup application if I'm reusing a brush. Similarly, like there are brushes like my Bobbi Brown eye blender brush that I like sometimes when I'm doing a diffused crease look, but I also then like to turn around and use it to do my highlighter or to powder my under eye area. And so with this guy, I can just swirl it in there quickly to make sure that I don't have like any glitter in my under eye highlight or any brown crease color on my my cheekbone highlight. So this guy I really, really love. I will leave the link to their website, to the FTP like sub-site where they list this guy. I want to say it was about $20. I know that Wayne Goss says you could just go to sort of like a hardware supply store and get a Brillo pad. You probably could. This one isn't too harsh for my brushes. Yeah, it's the right way with the logo this way. And it's just a nice little compact, so I really like it. You can also buy refills for this guy, but I've washed this Brillo pad a couple times and it's still good to go. So yeah, that is the first way I clean my brushes. The second way I spot clean my brushes, so this one probably isn't on a daily basis. I'd say maybe every 2 to 3 days. The ones that the brushes that I most use this technique with is usually like my foundation brush. I don't find that I can go more than 2 or 3 days without doing some spot cleaning with a liquid, just because I just feel like it really just cakes onto the brush, and something like this doesn't get the product out the way I want. So basically what I do with the spot cleaning, I take just like an old little flannel pad. This one came with my Ren cleanser, and then I take a liquid brush cleanser. This one from MAC is okay. I've heard the one from Sonia Kashuk is really good. But yeah, I'm just trying to finish this one before I get anything else. Anyway, so what I do is I'll put some of it on the cloth, just enough to dampen it. And you play it by ear, right? There's no right or wrong way to do it. And then I take my brush and then I just swirl my brush in there. As you can tell, this is newly cleaned, this cloth. Foundation is not coming out. So whatever you use to do this kind of spot cleaning, make sure that you don't want to ever use it for anything other than cleaning your brushes, because that makeup is not going to get out. And then I usually, to make sure it's clean, I'll just like flip it around to the other side and wipe. And if I can't see any more foundation on it, that's old foundation. I know the difference. I know it's hard to tell. But if I can't see any more foundation on it, I know that I've cleaned it as well as I can for a spot clean. I used to get really, really crazy and need it to be like super, super clean. So I'd like sit there like spot cleaning for such a long time. I've calmed down off of that. I just want to get enough out of there so that it's going to last me until the next time I deep clean it, without causing me to break out or anything like that. The way I can sort of tell is I'll see that most of the discoloration is gone, and then when I feel it, like especially with the foundation brush, you can feel when that foundation is sort of leaving oily residue on your hand. Your brush doesn't feel quite as soft. So just play it by ear, and you'll soon be able to tell what a clean spot clean brush feels like. So yeah, that's what I do. Like I said, probably every 2 or 3 days. More so with my foundation and like blush brushes, sometimes with eyeshadow brushes, but those ones usually with this guy I'm good to go until I deep clean. And then deep cleaning, let's talk about that. So I deep clean my brushes depending on how often I'm wearing makeup, between every 2 to 3 weeks. So if I'm wearing makeup like 5 or 6 days a week, I'll do it every 2 weeks. If I'm wearing it 2 to 3 days a week, then I can spread it to 3 or 4 weeks. I've used a variety of things techniques and what have you. The one I have now is the one I actually like the best, so we're just gonna launch into it. The first, there's a lot of gadgets in this, and I feel like partially it's because cleaning brushes is not necessarily fun, so if I can have some gadgets, it makes it more fun. The first tool I use is the infamous Spa Glove from Sigma. This is their new one that has 2 thumb holes, so that when you're flipping it around, because it's one side for your face brushes, this one is the face brushes, and one side for your eye brushes, that way when you turn it around, you can have your hand the right way up. So basically what you do with this guy, let's get a brush. I use a liquid brush conditioner, so this is the one from Bare Minerals, and I'll put a little dollop of it right in the middle here, and then I'll wet my brush. Now be careful, as soon as you wet your brush, you never want to hold it back upright this way. You'll get water in the ferrule, and then you'll have brush hairs that start to fall out. So I've put water on this, I've put some shampoo in here, and then if you can see, it says wash, rinse, refine, and then refine plus. So what I do is after I lay my hand flat, right, so it doesn't get anywhere. Let's do this. And there's soap in here, right? So I'll just sort of swirl, 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 swirl. You'll see that like all that dirty water will come out. As soon as I see clear water starting to run out, I then open the tap and start sort of just swiping it back and forth and letting that water sort of run through. Again, when I feel like that water is clean, I like these little thumb holes because you can just then refine it and put it back into shape. If you feel like there's still stuff there, I'll go once back through on this Refine Plus area, do the same thing, reshape it, and then what I've, another little tool that I also bought from FTP Beauty that has helped my brushes dry so much faster is this, I think it's called, it's the Benji Bell Sunflower. I like the Sunflower model because it has a lot of little spots. They have other models, they just don't have enough spots. So basically what this is you end up being able to just push your brush through, and it lets your brush sit this way so that the water just drips down. You're not actually going to have any dripping, too much dripping, but because it's leaning that way, they dry so much quicker. For something like a little brush like this, it's not a big deal, but when I'm cleaning sort of like my massive face brushes, these used to take me over 24 hours to dry, and that's just painful and just not necessary. And so with something like this, once I'm done, I pop it in here and I let it sit, and it takes no longer than 4 to 5 hours to dry. So it's just, it's really nice that way. Yeah, that's sort of how I use it. Let's show you the face side on the brush cleanser, this little tool. So the face side just has a little bit of a different pattern, but it's the same. So you'll wash, you'll rinse, you'll refine in here. With something like this, sometimes it's a little bit harder to get it in here, so I'll just, you know, in the thumb hole, so I'll usually, like, I'll refine it a little bit here if I want to, and then I'll reshape it with my hand before putting it in the Benji Bell Sunflower. But yeah, I've really finally felt like I'm happy with how quickly I can clean my brushes, how effectively I can clean them, and it just doesn't feel like a burden anymore. So those are my tips on my brush cleaning strategies, so to speak. Let me know what are your best tips and tricks, how often you clean your brushes, what music you like to listen to when you clean your brushes, because that's a must. I didn't mention that, but good music is a must while cleaning brushes. Otherwise, the chore just is exhausting. But yeah, let me know if you have any questions, all that good stuff down in that comment section. Okay, let's do 3 points of positivity and we will be done. My first point of positivity is days like today when I sat down, did my makeup, and it changed my entire mood. I love the power of makeup that way, and it makes me incredibly happy. My second point of positivity, I watched Save the Last Dance again last night. It's one of my favorite movies. It makes me cry, but that good kind of cry, if you know what I mean. And so that's definitely been making me really happy. And my third point of positivity is I picked up another one of those Sephora masks in pomegranate something. It's the red one. I don't know what's in that mask. It's not supposed to be like anti-blemish clearing, but it does that for me like no other. It's very surprising. So I picked up another one of those. I put it on again last night when I was watching that movie, and it's just, it makes me really happy. Good skincare days. There's something to be said about good skincare days. Let me know what's been making you guys smile recently. Hopefully there's been something that's been cheering you up and bringing a great big smile to your face. That is it for me today. I'm going to leave you for now, but not without reminding you that life is just too short to wear boring lipstick. Bye guys.